Good morning, Mr. Ray Jordan.
Hello.
So, at what stage are you in the work, and are your results a cause for optimism?
So for our vaccine against COVID-19, the stage that we're in is we're in the second phase of what would be three phases of clinical trials. Moderna's candidate is called compound number 1273. We did our first dosing in humans back in the middle of March, and we're waiting for the full results from that first phase of study. But we did begin the second phase of our study as well, and we began dosing what we expect to be some 600 participants in that phase. That began at the very end of May, and we're looking forward to going into our third and largest phase of testing in July, and for that we expect to dose some 30,000 participants in a number of sites and facilities. So we have seen some results from our first phase of study. We're waiting for more complete results from that, but it was very promising data that we saw. We also saw some promising results in the animal testing that was going on in the early stages. So cautiously optimistic that the progress will continue. We'll need to see more over time, of course.
When will the vaccine go into mass production?
We have begun scaling up our manufacturing even before the results have read out from the clinical trials. Given the unique situation with the pandemic, we were willing to take the financial risk of producing material so that once the safety and efficacy is proven, we can immediately begin making doses, and we hope potentially hundreds of millions of doses of the vaccine available very shortly after approval. We're also producing both in the United States as well as in Europe, so that we will have supply that's available in multiple locations.
And how many vaccines has Israel already ordered?
I can confirm that there was a deal announced with Israel, and while I can confirm it, at this point, I don't have additional specifics to be offered about it. We expect, though, that in most markets, most countries, including Israel, there would be multiple suppliers of vaccines that would be contracted, partly because we don't know at this stage which vaccines will work, at certain levels of efficacy, which vaccines may work better with certain populations of people, and so on. So we would expect multiple orders, and we're happy that multiple providers are working towards vaccines.
Is the vaccine suitable for everyone?
We are testing the vaccine in populations of adults from 18 years and older. While we may run later tests in younger populations, at this point, it's basically adults 18 years and older. We're also testing separately in older populations of 55 to 70, and then 71 years of age and older, because we'd like to get readings as to how well the vaccine works in the elderly population, because they're a particular high-risk population.
Does the vaccine have any side effects?
Yes, side effects are carefully monitored during the trials, and in part the reason you go from a very small set of participants in your earlier trials and then ramp up the number of participants is you check very carefully for side effects. And in our first phase of trials, we had 3 different doses of product, and we found, as you might expect, higher range of side effects at the highest dose. But ultimately, in our later trials, we found we didn't need that high dose to create the positive effects we were looking for. So we moved to the lower dose products. But those side effects will continue to be monitored in each phase of the trial.
Thank you so much for talking with us.
Okay, it's a pleasure talking with you. Thank you.